goalkeeper, just let him run on, and he scored! No!
They lied to us about the numbers, about the records, about how he's the greatest player of all time. For decades, we were told that Pelé scored a record 1,280 goals in 1,363 games, that his records would never be broken. He was hailed as the god of football. But then came the bitter truth. Most of those goals weren't even in official matches. Pelé counted goals against military teams, against farmers, in friendlies, and suddenly, his greatness was questioned by the same people who loved him. "Who did you score them against?" Maradona asked in an interview with Pelé. "Your nephews in the backyard? So, what's the truth?" Let's talk about cold, verified facts. Because when you put Pelé next to Ronaldo Nazario, R9, the contrast is staggering. Pelé's statistics show 1,283 goals in 1,367 matches. That number has been celebrated in history. But here's the twist. Nobody ever stops to ask where those goals came from. 643 goals were for Santos in official matches. 77 were for Brazil in FIFA-recognized internationals. The rest were friendlies, military games, youth matches, and even goals scored in unofficial club tours abroad. That's over 500 goals added from matches that FIFA, RSSSF, and IFFHS don't bother to count. By official standards, Pelé scored 757 official goals in 831 matches. That's respectable. But come on, that's a far cry from the sweet lie of 1,283 goals we've been told. It's like someone saying they made $1 billion and you find out they're counting Monopoly money. So now let's talk about Ronaldo Nazario, R9, the phenomenon. The striker who terrorized defenders and shattered goalkeeping careers. He didn't need to inflate his records. No one ever had to exaggerate R9's numbers. Let's look at the raw stats. Pelé scored 680 club goals. Ronaldo scored 352. Brazil goals? Pelé 77, Ronaldo 62. The total official goal count. Pelé 757, Ronaldo 414. And matches played? Pelé played 831 and Ronaldo played 616. Yes, Pelé scored more. But look closer. R9 played fewer matches, much fewer. He played against modern defenders in a more tactical era in Europe's top leagues. Pelé spent nearly all his club career in Brazil, in a different football world. Santos was dominant in domestic competitions, but the Brazilian league structure wasn't nearly as tough as Serie A, La Liga, or the Champions League. On the other hand, R9 scored 34 goals in a single La Liga season with Barcelona at the age of 20. He was top scorer of the 2002 World Cup. He tore up Serie A with Inter Milan, even while dealing with brutal defensive tactics. He won 2 Ballon d'Ors and is widely considered the greatest to ever wear shirt number 9. And let's not forget that R9's prime years were cut short by injury. He lost nearly 3 full seasons to knee damage, yet he still came back and won a World Cup Golden Boot. Now imagine Pelé facing the same 3 ACL tears, years lost, and still returning to top the world's biggest stage. We'll never know if he could have, but that's what makes R9's comeback so legendary. Now let's dive deeper and analyze their goals. Pelé's numbers are massive. 643 goals for Santos, 37 more with New York Cosmos. But here's the shocking bit of info. A significant chunk were penalties. In fact, during the 1962 Campeonato Paulista, Pelé scored 4 penalties in a single match against Juventus SP. Now, we're not saying Pelé wasn't brilliant, because he was. He wasn't better because of stats. He was better because his dribbling made defenders disappear. He danced with the ball. He brought flair and power at the same time. But if you compare with R9's scores, it paints a very different picture. He didn't rack up numbers in one league at one club over decades. He did it everywhere. Cruzeiro, PSV, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Real Madrid. At Cruzeiro, he scored 47 goals in 47 games. PSV, 54 in 57 games. Barcelona, 47 goals in 49 games. Inter Milan, 59 goals in 99 games. Real Madrid, 104 goals in 177 games. Milan and Corinthians, 44 goals in 84 games. That's 352 official club goals in 513 matches. He was so perfect everywhere, from Brazil to Spain, from the Eredivisie to Serie A. And the best part? He wasn't a penalty merchant. Do you remember his solo goal versus Compostela, where he bulldozed half the defense like they weren't even there? Or that icy cold finish against Turkey in the 2002 World Cup semi-final? One touch to glide past the keeper and another to end the game. R9 scored most of his goals from open play, weaving past defenders, humiliating goalkeepers, and redefining what it meant to be a striker. Here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Pelé never played in Europe's top leagues. Yes, he dazzled at World Cups, but his career was sheltered. Santos dominated a loosely structured Brazilian league. Pelé played many matches against smaller clubs and weaker regional teams. His defenders were not Paolo Maldini, or Cannavaro, or Nesta. Meanwhile, Ronaldo Nazario danced through Italian catenaccio, faced the best defensive lines the game has ever known. And yes, in the toughest tactical era of football. And he still made it look like a game of futsal. Yeah, we said it. All right, let's end the World Cup debate once and for all. People love to pull out the World Cup card for Pelé, stating he won 3 World Cups. Yeah, that's true, but the real question is, how many did he actually dominate? The year 1958 was magic. Pelé was just 17 and still scored 6 goals, including 2 in the final. That was his breakout moment. Then in 1962, he got injured in Brazil's second match and didn't play again. They won the tournament without him. He encountered another injury in 1966. This time, he was literally kicked out of the World Cup, targeted, fouled, and sidelined. Finally, he made a beautiful comeback in 1970. Pelé was brilliant, no doubt, but let's not forget, he played alongside one of the greatest squads ever. Rivellino, Tostão, and Jairzinho. That team was stacked. Now compare it with R9. He carried Brazil to the final in 1998, collapsed before the final, and still ended as top assist provider. Then, in 2002, after knee surgeries, he returned from the edge of his football career and scored 8 goals, including 2 in the final versus Germany, and got awarded a Golden Boot winner. So Pelé won more, no doubt, but Ronaldo suffered more, came back, and conquered more dramatically. Okay, so we're going to be a little blunt here. Pelé's era lacked the internet, no VAR, no global fact-checking, so the legend became super big, so much so that Brazil titled him as a national treasure. Santos manipulated the friendly stats, and local media bought it. And then the world bought it. Even today, some broadcasters repeat the 1,283 number like gospel. On top of that, they expect us to believe it. We bet if R9 got to count his training ground goals, preseason games, or scrimmages, his total would double that of Pelé's. But we are glad that R9's legendary stuff came from what we saw with our own eyes. Pelé's came from what we were told. That's the difference. But let's be fair, Pelé never claimed to be a god, he just played like one. The world took it from there. He played when football was still raw, untelevised, and romantic. His genius was real. The dribbles, the vision, the bicycle kicks. And those 77 goals for Brazil in official matches was still a record until Neymar broke it. That counts, but bragging stats only hurts the credibility of his greatness. You don't need to lie about a king. Comparatively, R9 played like a glitch in the Matrix. His master dribbles, his nutmegs, his three-step bursts. Literally no other striker had that combination of power, balance, and speed. And despite injury-ravaged knees, he still managed to score over 400 official goals. He won the Ballon d'Or twice, and here's the killer stat. In 1996 and 97, Ronaldo netted 47 goals in 49 games for Barcelona, and he was just 20 years old. If football were about inflated numbers, then Pelé wins. If it's about moments that defy physics, raw talent, and doing it when the world's watching, then R9 is the legend. Pelé played in an age of myth, while R9 in the age of measurement. And yet we still talk about Pelé's 1,283 number like nothing happened since. They'll keep saying Pelé scored the most, but numbers, especially unverified ones, don't tell the whole story. Pelé's myth was manufactured. R9's legend was earned in full glory, because reality speaks louder than myth. So the next time someone says Pelé smashed 1,283 goals, ask them, how many were real? And watch them fumble. Because in the end, numbers fade. But what you saw with your eyes, that never leaves. And we all saw R9. We saw him fly. We saw the truth. And the truth is, greatness isn't always about the most goals. It's about doing the impossible when it mattered most. That's why R9's shadow stretches long, even over kings. That's all for now, gang, but we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Pelé was the greatest ever in football? Or was Ronaldo Nazario better? Let us know what you think. Oh, and before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more football stories.